Good morning, everyone. It's one day before Mother's Day. I talked to my son yesterday. He's coming to visit. He didn't tell me why. I kind of forgot about Mother's Day. But I thought, that's interesting. Why is he coming to visit out of the blue? And I got and asked Sissy, I said, is it Mother's Day coming up? She said, yeah. Oh, very cool. Yes. I know my children. I know them. As their mother, the best. I know everything about them. Okay? My children would be watching us going, oh, yeah, you sure? Yeah, you better be sure I do. Okay? I better be sure I do. Yeah. I know. And if I had each one sitting down with me, I'd tell them exactly what I know about them and how they function. As a mother out there, if you do know your children, you're the best, like I do, and every mother should, then you should also fight for the best for your children. Oh, well, my children aren't. The youngest one's 25 now. Oh, hard to believe, right? Yes, they're still my children. I still know them the best. I do. And being grateful to them for being my children and praying for them that they're safe with their families and my grandchildren, of course. Yeah, there is such a thing. I'm telling you something here. So I know that in some families, there are children that feel like that one or the other is preferred. My children tried that. I said, come on, Mom, now. You do have, right? It was the same. You do have a favorite, don't you? I'd have to look at them and say, you got to be kidding me. How could I have a favorite among my children, all of them? How's that possible? How can any parent have a favorite in the family when it comes to their children? That has got to be the absolute worst feeling. Yes, I know that feeling. Because in my family, it was my brother. He was the special one. He was the boy. Blah, blah, blah. I have one son and 3 girls. I don't make no difference between them. I love them individually. Exactly the same. According to each of them. Yes. There's no favoritism going on. And there never will be. I think that is... I can't even imagine. That's kind of mother or father are you doing that? Well, in any case. And I have to even include the one that's not really mine. Yes, from, that's okay. And I feel the exact same way there too. If anyone said, well, but that's not, it's just attached to your family, but really, well, I don't know her the best. Her mommy knows her the best. Yes, but when it comes to would I favor one over again? No, no, that's no. Oh my gosh, stepmothers. It's got to be one of the worst things out there to have a stepmother. Right? Yes. Did everything go well between my stepdaughter and me all the time? No, because I didn't even have children yet at the time myself. So I was learning in a different way, but we learned together. I hope that she feels a connection and a love for me as her stepmother, as I treasure her and my 2 grandchildren from that side as well. So when people ask, so how many grandchildren you have? 5. That's it. Don't explain more. It just gets complicated. Yes. But here's the thing. After my first granddaughter came along, things changed. Oh, my children, I'm sorry to tell you, but my grandmother heart has kicked in, and I know I don't get to see them all that often, yes. But when I do, it's long stretches. I'm getting ready right now, 3 months to spend with them. What do you think? Huh? Yes? Yeah. Oh, we're going to have so much fun. Yes, they're going to be carrying Rosie around. Not me, them. But they love that. I realized my grandchildren love just taking care of me as well, because they love to be around their Rosie. Yes. Okay, so here it is. My children definitely now, after I've become a grandmother, a Grosie. I'm Grosie, that's Swiss for grandmother. They are taking second place. They are. I have to be honest. My grandchildren, oh, and I don't have no favorites there either. Okay? Yes, I spent more time with my oldest granddaughter than with the other two. That doesn't matter. Now my heart is what? More engaged with one or the other? Come on, people. That's so dumb. What is that? A competition? Oh, gosh. I'd like to understand the world more, but I don't. When it comes to stuff like that, anyway. But if my children were to ask, so who do you love more, your children or your grandchildren? My grandchildren. Immediate response. One thinks love's just out there, right? Yes, and then love comes to you, or you walk towards love, per se. What I found is that love in my life grew with children. How you think, your husband and wife? Oh my gosh, when I met my husband, it was like, I don't know really what happened, because thank God I was blindly in love. I mean, talk about being in love blind, okay? Otherwise, I would have noticed some things and said, oh, hell no, no. But I didn't. I'd never given my heart before like that. My heart was, oh, take it out, give it away, that's it. And I disregarded all and everything that went on around me. Yes, and that's why I have 4 beautiful, wonderful children. Yes. And 5 grandchildren. Yes, I'd hardly ever get to see the 2, but I remember the one of my grandsons. He's older now. He'd be here and we'd go to the barn, and I could just tell he would make such a great farmer. He has the heart for it. Yes. Yes. My oldest. So that's my oldest granddaughter. Not that other one. She would be, but I got to see her so little. Ah, yes. One thinks about them anyway. It doesn't matter where they are at. They come to your mind. Yes, I got Spirit World for that too. Send a prayer, so hopefully they'll do well. And she is an absolutely beautiful girl. She's so beautiful. She has an incredibly guarded heart, but she'll be a rebel. Now, see, she could be, yep. Though we're not blood related or anything, she could be. She will be. She'll be a rebel when she grows older. A good rebel. Yes, yeah. She's taken her time. It's fine. Yes. But, I know my grandchildren, even when they are far away, I don't get to see them much. But when I do get to see them, okay. Yes. So there it is. I went and looked up today, besides that, on how many, the thought came to my mind while I'm reading the Old Testament here. I went and checked out how many Jews are left in the world. You know, it's only about 16 million. 16 million Jews. That's not that many, is it? Considering the world population. considering what God's promising the Jews here. Right? Yes? Well, at that time, okay, all right. So God's promises, I guess, just eventually evaporate or something? I guess. I don't know. I have no idea. You guys tell me. But there are 2.28 million Christians out there. Now, how old is the Old Testament? How much was recorded over hundreds of years of their journeys, of their life, of their beginning with God, this, that, and I don't know what. And they have shrunk to 16 million around the world. Interesting? Yeah. Here comes Jesus in the New Testament. He preaches for how long? How many years? 3. Has 12 students. And he teaches them separately. It's in the Bible. We'll get to that. That only he explains to them for a reason. And after his death, they go out and they start doing what? Yes, they need a little encouragement too. And now, so a couple thousand years later, now remember, right after Jesus' death, what happened? Christian persecution, big time. There shouldn't be any. When it comes down to it, there shouldn't be any Christians. How many Christians were there to begin with at Jesus' time? How many of them are now? You kidding me? Over 2 billion of an 8 billion world population. 2 billion of them are what? Almost 2. I'd say with all the underground thing, this and that, where people can't acknowledge openly that they're Christians, this and that. That's still going on in our world. That's insane. Insane. Right here. Boo! Sawdust coming out on both sides. How is this possible that you cannot openly worship what you believe in? If it's on the proper side, on a good side. I'm not talking about Satanism and all that other crap. Okay? That's just wrong. There's nothing right with that. I mean, anybody knows that. Yeah, well, okay. I'm talking good and right. Belief. Right? For the better of humanity. To take care of our children. This and that. Okay? You got that? Okay. Jeez, you know, one has to explain everything to the cahoots. I would say there would be at least 4 billion. Yes? At least. 4 billion Christians. That's my opinion. That's what I'm saying. If everybody could register as a Christian, yes, I am a Christian, everywhere around the world, at least 4 billion people. That's phenomenal. I said, 3 years of preaching, 12 students. Without the internet, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, what's the other stuff? TikTok, and I don't know what. Huh? Without that. Now, so many hundreds of years later, thousands of years later. That's amazing. Anybody ever thought of that? Jesus should be, in his life, his words, pick out some of the best ones for children to have a guideline. The Lord's Prayer should be in every history book. Because that's the most phenomenal thing that has ever happened on this earth. That a man living here, born with or without sin, it doesn't matter. Jesus lived. Because I can't quite see how so many people would be following a myth. Myths fall apart after a pretty short amount of time. Go and read it up in history. That's the odd thing. Why are the Greek gods and the Norman gods and others, they're all somehow in history books this and that. Yet Jesus isn't? How the hell does that make sense? So here I am as a mother. I want people out there to start teaching our children the proper things. And here is a man that everybody can look up to. 3 years of preaching, 12 students, and a couple of thousand years later, he's got how many followers? You people think about that. Huh? Yes. Okay. I spoke as a mother here. Oh, Mother Mary must be here with me. Hi. And I thought, I wonder how many mothers there are in the world who know best about their children. Then you fight for them. You fight that they're being taught the proper things. You fight for them because that is proper and right. Mother's Day is coming up. Make sure you're worthy of it. Huh? I also found that mothers never forget about their children. They're always in your mind. Of course, the grandchildren. Yes, okay, I'm sorry. They're pedestal. Wonder number one. And they never leave your mind day or night. They just don't. They're always with you because they're a part of you. Right? Yes. And here's the thing. Mothers, when they lose a child, are amazing at not forgetting their children. Even though they're not in this world anymore. That's another amazing thing too. How amazing is it to have a mother? Yes, sure is. So, besides, as a mother being reminded on Mother's Day, I got to do my best for my children and my grandchildren. All my life. It never ends. I am also the best for my children. Absolutely and 100%. Yes. Because no matter what, you have a mother, and everybody does, you will never be forgotten. You're never unloved. I can't speak for the ones that are not doing the job for one reason or another. I'm not going to judge them either. Because I still believe that they too, in their heart, their children, are always there. We're not just making our maze through the Bible. Right? A lot of people are making their way through the maze in life. Yes? Know your worth as a mom. And children, know the worth of your mom. All right, so got that out of the way. And we are in Deuteronomy 15. The sabbatical year. There we go. Sunday's coming up. Mother's Day. I'm not going to talk about Father's Day. That's not my area. Done. The sabbatical year. Deuteronomy 15. At the end of every 7 years, you must grant remission. The nature of the remission is as follows. Any creditor holding a personal pledge obtained from his fellow must release him from it. He must not exploit his fellow or his brother once the latter has appealed to Yahweh for remission. Oh! Oh, that's interesting. You have to let go, even though after 7 years, even though we have something in Switzerland, I don't know how it is here, but if after 10 years they couldn't catch the criminal or whatever, it becomes obsolete, certain things. Yes, that's why my dad could come back from Africa. He had some debt. Oh, same thing. Dad, I'm sorry. I have to tell this story. My dad loved sports cars. Of course, just foreign cars. I remember I was really little still. There was a white one and a red sports car with the tops down in our driveway. We lived in an apartment building. Was in the parking lot. So, what a nice car. I don't think I ever drove in any of them. But didn't get to it. So they ended up being my dad's. Oh my gosh, what did he do now, right? Well, as a child, I didn't know. I was too young for any of that. So he crashed one first, then he crashed the other one. Now he was in debt, big time. But he was also a great engineer. So he was hired by a company in Africa to go lay pipes, right? Yes, underground pipes. And he went. And so evaded. What? Yes. It's not funny. I don't think that running away from your debt is funny, but it's one of those things where there are the loopholes, right? My dad should have ended up in jail for a long time. He ended up in Africa for 10 years. And then after 10 years, they couldn't, statutes of limitation, I think they're called, had expired, and there you go. Right? Yeah. And he came back. Yeah. Yes. No, he didn't seem to like Switzerland very much. He lived there for a while, and then he moved to Portugal, bought some land, this and that. Yeah. Well, anyway, so, yep. Had an interesting dad when it came to many different things, definitely on what not to do. Okay. But here we go. Same thing. Looky here. Oh. Well, my dad must have been forgiven in heaven after, as I said, 10 years. He didn't. Okay. Oh, I ended up having some half-brothers and half-sisters in Africa, too. Yeah. Don't know any of them. It's too bad. Well, anyway, but supposedly I do. A foreigner you may exploit, but you must... Okay, I'm sorry. God would give these. You can exploit a foreigner, that's all right. No, come on now, really? This can't be right. I mean, but you must remit whatever claim you have on your brother. There must then be no poor among you. For Yahweh will grant you this blessing in the country which Yahweh your God is giving you to possess as your heritage. Only if you pay careful attention to the voice of Yahweh your God by keeping and practicing all these commandments which I am enjoining on you today. Now again, what was I talking about? As a mother, you know your children best. So of course, God knows his children best as well. And he knows us better than anybody, okay? Our heavenly parents. There's a mother in there somewhere too. Okay, mother physically or this or that. Come on now, people, really? Does one have to explain that too? Of course not. Okay. Masculine and feminine aspects have to be within our Creator in order for him to create it. Done. You've got to know what green, red, blue, yellow is in order to paint. Whatever you want to paint. Of course, you can't, if you're colorblind, then you just go ahead. Might make for an interesting painting, too. Right? But you're kind of going by what? Hoping? God knows us best. That's it. Done. Okay? But the thing is, how are they communicating actually with Yahweh? Through who? The Levites, the priests. Do the priests know them best? Are they communicating properly with God? According to what guideline? Mainly the Ten Commandments. Are they using those every time? Or, okay, just saying. If Yahweh your God blesses you as he has promised, you will be creditors to many nations, but debtors to none. Oh. I don't know. How is Israel doing? Are they creditors to many nations, but debtors to none? You will rule over many nations and be ruled by none. Oh. Is there anyone poor among you, one of your brothers, in any town of yours in the country which Yahweh your God is giving you? Do not harden your heart or close your hand against a poor brother of yours, but be open-handed with him and lend him enough for his needs. Do not allow this mean thought in your heart. The 7th year, the year of remission, is near, and scowl at your brother and give him nothing. He could appeal against you to Yahweh, and you would incur guilt. I would say again, this has to do with what has befallen someone that suddenly things got hard and out of hand, this snap. Was it just circumstances? Or was it self-inflicted? Right? I think there is a difference. All right? And even then, one can, and I have many times, okay, given anyway, hoping and giving people a helping hand, even by inviting them to my home, staying here, making sure they get back on their feet, this, that, right? And that's the most rewarding thing to watch. Yes, yes, yes. I was here for someone, not to gloat over it. I was here for someone that really needed that. But when you get taken advantage of by doing that, and see that they're just sinking further and further into an abyss because now I'm enabling them, one has to see the difference there too. And sometimes you have to just send the people on their way and say, you're in the wrong place here. This isn't helping you. This is destroying you further. Okay? So, but I think at that time, I think what God sees, he knows his children best. Right? Yes? What he sees is, okay, come on now. How bad can you do at a time like this? And how much are we tempted now with so many different things that then we end up where? With nothing. Well, with nothing. You can end up with nothing, but you can be a strong, sensible, clean person. Right? Yes? Hermits do make a choice in a way. But then there is that other side. And that doesn't need an excuse. That just needs to be looked at as a fact that, yes, people let themselves go, completely go. Don't care about their environment, don't care about themselves, don't care about anything that's given to them. In fact, they figure out a way to destroy it as they have destroyed themselves. Yes, that's very, very, very sad. Yeah. Oh, do I know how to fix it? Only God knows. God knows his children best. He knows best what they need. Which then again means what? The New Testament, very, very important for that journey in people's lives. Very important. And it should be everywhere. Number one, and should just be regarded as religion, but as a way of what? Life. Yes? That's it. What kind of an impact this one man had? One man. No internet, no this, no that, no electricity, no running water. Oh. So that would be my answer. How would you fix that? We're going to have to depend on God. We're going to have to depend on our heavenly parents, and we're going to have to depend on what we were given 2,000 years ago with the New Testament. And an absolute, you want to call someone a legend? Then Jesus is one. The absolute number one legend in this world. Right? Yes? Yeah. Okay. And maybe if people were to, again, that's up to mothers. If people, children, were sooner rather than later exposed, taught, given the tools to cope with that, with Jesus, with the words in the New Testament and all that, be given on their way in life, which it needs to be taught in school, as one of the main subjects. You got health classes there, right? What are they called for? It's called something. I can't even replace that with. Replace that, or rather, use that part of physical hygiene, this and that, I don't know what, with as a footnote in the class, in the subject of learning from Jesus. That should be in every school. Done. Yes, people, there is a solution. I said, 2,000 years later. And you still don't want to acknowledge that. About 4 billion people in the world out of the 8 are Christians. Openly, can be openly, or have to be underground. When you give to him, you must give with an open heart for this. Yahweh your God will bless you in all your actions and in all your undertakings. Of course, there will never cease to be poor people in the country, and that is why I am giving you this command. Always be open-handed with your brother and with anyone in your country who is in need and poor. I can safely say, yes, yeah. Okay, I can safely say, at that time, it is sad when you are such a close-knit family, really, when it comes down to it, and during the time that people lived, not eating for a week could mean the death of the whole family, right? Yes? As a brother or a sister, why would you want that? I mean, really? How could that? But it has to be in here, doesn't it? Yes? Yeah. Slaves. Let's have a look at this one. If your fellow Hebrew, man or woman, sells himself to you, he can serve you for 6 years. In the 7th year, you must set him free. And in the setting him free, you must not let him go empty-handed. I wonder if, when it says slaves here, if this means the same thing what we understand under slaves now. Because some people, here, look, I'm going to help you out. Don't worry about it. And they go, no. There has to be a give and take. I am not just taking that. So here's my commitment to you. Right? Yes? So here, I think this is kind of the same thing. And there's a limit to it. Right? So it doesn't get abused again. Golly, you see now? What does that say? So before we read, okay, one should not abuse the kindness. Be kind. Do please be kind. Right? Do give when there is need to give. But it also is warning the other party, don't abuse that. Right? Do not abuse that either. Right? Yes? But then here, it also, I lost my thread. Too much to say. Warns the one that is giving, right? And then is receiving back, though, in a way, to make sure that they're not going to start abusing. Right? Who doesn't like free labor? Tell me. Free labor is great. People come and say, hey, we're just going to help you out. You don't need to pay me this. Oh, great. Yes. All right. Yes. Okay. Well, especially when you don't have it, right? Yes, and that's even better. Well, here, always fix a meal. People always go home with eggs, this and that. Yes? Okay. Yeah. But anyway, I do most everything myself anyway, so it doesn't matter. By way of present, you will load his shoulders with things from your flock, from your threshing floor, and from your winepress. As Yahweh your God has blessed you, so you must give to him. Oh, see? Do not abuse now. Ah, good one. Yes, how one gets greedy. One gets greedy, and you realize how much you could make off of a person, and you fall into a terrible abyss. That's much worse. I guarantee you. That is a much worse thing to happen to you and become filthy rich than to become completely without anything and nothing. Yes. It is. It's we must remember. Oh, there we go. Remember that you were once a slave in Egypt, and that Yahweh your God redeemed you. That is why I am giving you this order today. But if he says to you, I do not want to leave you, because he loves you and your household and is happy with you, you must take an awl and drive it through his ear into the door, and he will be your servant forever. Ouch. You must do the same to a female slave. Do not think it hard on you to have to give him his freedom. He is worth twice what a paid servant would cost you, and has served you for 6 years, and Yahweh your God will bless you in everything you do. Yeah, I'm not sure, but this is an odd one. Don't know. That's a guy thing. The firstborn. You must consecrate every firstborn male from your herd and flock to Yahweh your God. You must not put the firstborn of your herd to work, or shear the firstborn of your flock. You must eat it, you and your household, each year in the presence of Yahweh your God, in the place which Yahweh chooses. Oh, also that means the firstborn male from your herd, when the babies start coming, that one. I was confused there for a second. Man, every firstborn male to what? Every nanny, goat nanny, every cow. It's just the firstborn male. The first one every year. There is a season where they all have their babies, so most of them. You must eat it and your household each year in the presence of Yahweh your God, in the place which Yahweh chooses. Give the first and the best to them. Yes. Yes, that's what you do. You offer it up. We had our first strawberries, and I shared them with Sissy. If it has any defect, if it is lame or blind, any serious defect, you must not sacrifice it to Yahweh your God. You will eat it at home, unclean and clean together, as you would gazelle or deer. Only you will not eat its blood, but pour that like water on the ground. Again, I always had this I don't know. As I said, maybe it's just some ingrained stuff, or I just have the way spirit world works with me, or whoever is around me. Somehow this is kind of ingrained, always been ingrained in me, that the first of the harvest, the first pea, the first strawberries, this and that you share, right? Yes, you share. Oh, share with God. Yes. My excitement over the first things coming in, this and that. I love my own excitement. Oh, why am I so much more excited about something, right? Yes, the first radish, first spinach leaf from picking. This, that. Why is that? Maybe because I share the joy given to me with God after that, with my heavenly parents. Hey, that's usually the first thing I do is share. Oh my gosh, thank you, thank you, thank you, Father. Right? Yes, thank you so much. If I have to explain this again, I call God my heavenly Father as well, because man's subject. So the masculine is subject, right? Woman is object. So it's okay. Yes, call God heavenly Father. Sometimes, depending on what I'm talking about, calling our Creator heavenly parents. Right? Yes, I have different names. Mom, Rosie, Danny, Daniela, sis-in-law, wife, honey. Yes, just depends where I'm at and which way to address me is the most appropriate. Ma'am. Does that make sense? Mrs. Wooten? Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. See, it's not that hard to explain it. Not that confusing. Same for God, our heavenly Father, our heavenly parents. Roosters chasing roosters. Yeah. Funny to watch too. All right, so that's it. Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there. All the mamas. Yes, I know. Some of you have a really hard time. Some of you didn't have it easy to be the best you can be as a mom due to circumstances, this, that, due to some self-inflicted things, this, that. I wish you a happy Mother's Day anyway. Yes? Because no doubt your children are always on your heart, either here on earth or if they have already passed. And that's such a wonderful thing for us children. And everybody's been a child to have had a mother. And everybody has had a mother. Yes? To be loved. Even if you don't know it, you've been loved. And you will continue to be loved. Huh? Either in spirit world, if you go before mom, or from spirit world, if mom's already there. Yes? That's a wonderful thing, I think. Okay. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you, and I will talk to you all another time.